You ever have one of those moments that splits your life in two before and after, and you don't see it coming until you're right in the middle of it? That was me, Saturday afternoon, standing under the skylights at Westfield Mall, feeling just regular for the first time in a week. I was off the clock, out of uniform, on a mission for a birthday present for my daughter, just another mom in blue jeans, browsing for something shiny. And then, out of nowhere, I hear it stop right there. Security guard Miller, voice sharp as glass, bearing down on me. His partner Rodriguez grabbed my arm so fast, I barely had time to flinch. Empty the bag now. I almost laughed like this can't be happening, not to me, not here. But it was. And then Miller's on his radio, voice all official, calling me out by color and refusing to see anything else black female, refusing to comply, requesting immediate police response. I don't even get to process before Linda, the manager, storms out, finger pointed right at me, like I'm the reason the world's gone sideways. They didn't ask, they seized. Dumped my purse out, contents scattered across tile, everything I owned splayed for strangers to judge. Turn around. Cuffs went on tight enough to bite. I told him, "You're making a mistake." But Miller, he wasn't listening, already shoving me through the exit, the crowd's phones out, hungry for drama. And I'll tell you, shame burns different when you know every second's going viral. Now, here's where you think a real cop steps in to clear things up, but no Officer Thompson shows up, all swagger and smirk, hand on his weapon like he's expecting a gunfight at Tiffany's. Sees me in cuffs, laughs, another shoplifter. My voice didn't shake. Captain Maya, Washington, 15th Precinct. Badge number 4457. The color drained right out of him, but the crowd only saw another black woman caught up in mall security's net. They didn't see the fire under my calm. 2 decades in uniform, working my way up, taking every hit and every compliment, believing I could fix things from the inside. You ever try to do everything right and still wind up here? Yeah, that happened. But let me back up a sec. Before all that, it was just another Saturday. I'd survived another week of personnel headaches and paperwork, promised Zoe a charm bracelet for her birthday. The mall was humming families, teenagers, that clean vanilla smell from the candle kiosk. I let myself relax, just for a second, until I caught Miller and Rodriguez in a storefront reflection, trailing me like I couldn't see them. Miller's talking into his radio, describing me in detail like I'm a threat. Rodriguez looked like he wanted to be anywhere else. My jaw clenched, but I told myself let it go. You're off duty. You're not going to let them ruin this. But they followed me into Crystal's boutique, where Linda, the manager, gave me that tight-lipped "can I help you?" like I'd wandered into the wrong neighborhood. I played it cool, browsing. But you can feel it, right? That prickle when every eye's on you for the wrong reason. I asked to see a butterfly bracelet, something simple. Linda hesitated, hands shaking while she unlocked the case, like I might snatch the tray and bolt. The bracelet was gorgeous. Zoe would have loved it. I said, "I'll take," and before I can finish, Linda's voice cuts me off, louder now. "I need to see inside your bag." Everything froze. Jazz faded, shoppers stopped, and Miller and Rodriguez stepped in, itching for a scene. "I saw you slip something inside," Linda accused. My hand started to shake, not fear, but fury. I stood my ground. "That's absolutely false. I haven't touched anything but the bracelet you just showed me." Miller demanded I empty my bag. I told him, I hadn't stolen a thing, and they had no right to search my property. "Show us, or we'll call the police." "You've been following me since I walked in," I told her, voice steady. "This is harassment." Miller's chest puffed up. "Last chance. Open the bag, or things get complicated." I didn't flinch. "You have no probable cause, no evidence. Back off." That's when he radioed for backup, crowd drawing closer, phones up. The air felt electric, like a storm ready to break. And then Thompson arrived, filling the doorway, hand resting casual on his gun. "What's the problem here?" he asked, but didn't wait for the answer. Linda's side was all he needed. "Another one causing trouble," he said, turning his glare on me. I tried to keep it professional. This is a misunderstanding that could be easily resolved. But he didn't care. Grabbed my shoulder, slammed me against the glass wall, so hard the cases rattled. Don't tell me how to do my job, he hissed. Hands behind your back. I told him, this is excessive force. I have rights. He laughed, pulling the cuffs so tight I bit my lip not to yell. Phones were out everywhere, people recording, some whispering it wasn't right, but nobody stepping in. Thompson paraded me out like a trophy. Plaintiff's audience should have just cooperated. The sun outside was blinding, the crowd growing. Before this goes any further, I said, you should know something, Officer Thompson. Save it for booking, he barked. I'm Captain Maya Washington, 15th Precinct. My badge is in my front pocket. The crowd buzzed. Thompson checked hand froze on the badge, gold glinting in the sun. This is fake, he shouted, but the authority was gone from his voice. Impersonating an officer, he added weakly. But the crowd was having none of it. She's a captain, someone yelled. He arrested a police captain for shopping. More phones. More pressure. Thompson tried to push me into the car anyway. Fake badge, resisting arrest, interfering with an officer. I locked eyes with him. Every second is being recorded. Are you sure you want to keep going? That's when Patricia Wells, the mall's PR director, arrived, panic all over her face. Internal affairs is on their way, she announced. A police cruiser pulled up. Sergeant Davis Hode worked with me for years, stepped out. Officer Thompson, he called. Want to tell me why you've got a police captain in cuffs? Thompson tried to bluster, but Davis wasn't buying it. That's Captain Washington, he said for everyone to hear. Your commanding officer's commanding officer. You could feel the tide turn right there. Handcuffs came off, red marks already blooming on my wrists. Wells tried to spin it as an unfortunate incident. I wasn't having it. Unfortunate? Is that what we're calling racial profiling and police brutality now? Wells blanched, but I pressed on. Preserve your camera footage, I said. The crowd murmured approval, people promising to send in their videos. Later that night, Amanami best friend and one hell of a defense attorney showed up with wine and takeout. The report's worse than I thought, Maya, she said, spreading files across my kitchen table. Thompson was already painting me as hostile, aggressive, claiming I struck him. Mall security was backing his story. But there are videos, I protested. Doesn't matter, Amanda said. They'll say the footage is incomplete, claim you escalated. The department knows how to protect its own. And the real gut punch? She defended 6 clients, all black, all falsely arrested at that mall in the past year, same officers, same bogus charges, all forced into plea deals. I didn't sleep that night. Started digging into records. Patterns jumped out. 47 confirmed cases, all black residents, all resisting arrest, all probationed through a private contractor. And guess who owned the probation company? Westfield Holdings, the same family that owned the mall. Money moved in a loop, more arrests, more probation, more fees, more profit for the same people. Amanda texted me a graph, arrest spike right before quarterly earnings. I nearly laughed at it. Was organized crime wearing a badge. The next morning, Lisa Rodriguez, a young reporter with a stubborn streak, found me. She'd been investigating Thompson, found evidence of bribes, shell companies, shady banking. She had a source inside. Mall management leaked memos with explicit instructions to target high-risk demographics and coordinate arrests to feed the probation company. This wasn't just bias, it was incentivized. Things moved fast. Activists, teachers, business owners, everyone had a story. A teenage girl named Tiana stepped up. She'd recorded Thompson setting me up, whispering with the manager before I even walked in. He's been doing this for months, she said, always targeting black shoppers. Tiana's footage and Lisa's documents suddenly. We had the whole ugly truth. But it got dangerous fast. Threats started, texts, hate mail, my car vandalized, warnings keyed into the paint. Keep your mouth shut, Captain. Lisa was attacked, leaving work beaten, arm broken, but alive. She'd managed to back up evidence from her attacker's phone bank statements, emails, even a copy of the memo stolen from my house. It all pointed to the same names: Thompson, the mall CEO, city officials, even a judge. We knew we couldn't trust the department, so we went public. The city council meeting was a powder keg live streamed, news cameras rolling, half the city packed inside. I stood at the podium and told the whole story, personal, then bigger, showing every name, every payment, every dirty detail. And right as the mayor tried to shut me down, Thompson exploded, tried to arrest me on the spot. But this time, officers stood with me, not against me. He was cuffed in front of everyone, his rage, their shame, the crowd chanting justice. State investigators swept in, locking down offices, hauling off the mall CEO, city councilmen, corrupt judges. For the first time, the system was cracking from the inside out. I stepped outside to the cheers of hundreds of families, activists, strangers. They hugged, they cried, they called my name, and for a moment, all the anger and fear faded. The truth was out. The scheme was finished, but the scars would linger. 3 days later, I walked the mall with Zoe, back to where it all started. New staff, new security, even shoppers seemed different, hopeful. People stopped me, thanked me, shared their own stories. Tiana and Lisa Heroes, both of them were already working on the next big story. The crowd clapped as I left the boutique, Zoe grinning. This is like a movie ending or something. I squeezed her shoulder. This fight isn't over, but we won today. You know, sometimes it takes just one voice refusing to stay silent to shatter the whole crooked thing. That's what I learned. Doesn't matter if you wear a badge, a hoodie, or a business suit. If you stand up and demand the truth, you might just change everything. So, if you're watching this, tell me in the comments, what does justice look like in your city? Ever seen power abused? Ever stood up for what's right when it costs you something? Hit subscribe if you want more stories where the good fight doesn't end at the credits. Because the battle for justice never really ends, it just finds a new place to begin.